when you thought you'd arrived, but then realized you hadn't. And we had some pretty bad days, like in Italy, where a truck driver unloaded all the equipment an hour north of Rome, not an hour south of Rome, and a slightly worse day where a keyboard player called me and said, Chris, don't panic, but we may have just sound-checked at the wrong people's wedding. So not long after the fated Rome event, I chatted this through with a friend of mine who's a mathematician, and we thought it was a problem we could do something about. We thought, well, we could make a new system, but it shouldn't look like the old system. We agreed that addresses were bad. We knew we wanted something very precise, but GPS coordinates, latitude and longitude, were just too complicated. So we divided the world into 3-meter squares. The world divides into around 57 trillion 3-meter squares, and we found that there were enough combinations of 3 dictionary words that we could name every 3-meter square in the world uniquely with just 3 words. We used 40,000 words, so that's 40,000 cubed, 64 trillion combinations of 3 words, which is more than enough for the 57 trillion odd 3-meter squares with a few spare. So that's exactly what we did. We divided the world into 3-meter squares, gave each one a unique 3-word identifier, what we call a 3-word address. So for example, right here, I'm standing at Mustard's Coupons Pinup. But over here, I'm standing at Pinched Singularly Tutorial. But we haven't just done this in English. We thought it was essential that people should be able to use this system in their own language. So far, we've built it into 14 languages, including French, Swahili, and Arabic. And we're working on more now, like Xhosa, Zulu, and Hindi. But this idea can do a lot more than just get my musicians to their gigs on time. If the 75% of countries that struggle with reliable addressing started using 3-word addresses, there's a stack of far more important applications. In Durban, South Africa, an NGO called Gateway Health have distributed 11,000 3-word address signs to their community, so that pregnant mothers, when they go into labor, can call the emergency services and tell them exactly where to pick them up from, because otherwise the ambulances have often taken hours to find them. In Mongolia, the National Post Service have adopted the system and are now doing deliveries to many people's houses for the first time. The UN are using it to geotag photos in disaster zones so they can deliver aid to exactly the right place. Even Domino's Pizza are using it in the Caribbean because they haven't been able to find customers' homes, but they really want to get their pizza to them while it's still hot. Shortly, you'll be able to get into a car, speak the 3 words, and the car will navigate you to that exact spot. They really want to get their pizza to them while it's still hot. In Africa, the continent has leapfrogged phone lines to go to mobile phones, bypassed traditional banks to go straight to mobile phones. They really want to get their pizza to them. We're really proud that the post services of 3 African countries, Nigeria, Djibouti, and Cote d'Ivoire, have gone straight to adopting 3-word addresses, which means that people in those countries have a really simple way to explain where they live. For me, going core addressing leads to annoying frustration, which means that people in billions of people have a really simple way to huge business need they live, severely hampers their infrastructure growth, going core addressing leads to annoying frustration, which means that people in billions of Africa have a really simple way to huge business need they live, severely hampers their infrastructure growth, going core addressing leads to annoying frustration, which means that people in billions of Africa have a really simple way to huge business need they live, severely hampers their infrastructure growth, going core addressing leads to annoying frustration, which means that people in billions of Africa have a really simple way to huge business need they live, severely hampers their infrastructure. According to the UN, billions of people still live without internet. The economist Fernando de Soto said, without an address and outside the loop, you might as well know still live without internet. I'm here to tell you how my team and I are trying to say. If you go to an online map like in South Africa, you'll see a few streets with a lot of my team and I are trying to say. But if you get to satellite, if you go to an online thousands of people, homes and businesses, in this vast unmapped, you'll see a few streets with a lot of my team and I are trying to say. Ghana's capital of Prague, there are numbers of letters scrawled into the sides of walls. So they piloted the address system, but not finished. But these places, unaddressed places, hold huge economic issues. Here's why the issue of addressing stuff is. I work in the music business for 10 years, and what you may not know about the music world is that every day people struggle with the problem. So, from the musicians who have these private gigs to the production companies who bring equipment, everyone somehow always gets lost. We even had someone to our head station, the person who called and thought you arrived, but then realised you hadn't. And we had some pretty bad things, like in Italy where the truck driver unloaded on the sitting around north of Rome, south of Rome, and a slightly worse day where the keyboard player called me and said, Chris, don't panic, you may have just sounded like the wrong people's way. So not long after the April Rome event, I chatted this through with a friend of mine who's a mathematician, and we thought it was a problem we could do something about. We thought, well, we could make a new system, but it shouldn't look like the old system. We agreed that addresses were bad. We knew we wanted something very precise, but GPS coordinates, latitude and longitude were just super away. So we divided the world into 3 meter squares. The world divides into around 57 trillion 3 meter squares, and we found that there were enough combinations of 3 dictionary words that we could name every 3 meter square in the world uniquely with just 3 words. We used 40,000 words, we had 40,000 used 54 trillion combinations of 3 words, which is more than enough for the 57 trillion odd 3 meter squares with a few squares. So that's exactly what we did. We divided the world into 3 meter squares, gave each one a unique 3-word identifier, what we call a 3-word address. So for example, right here, I'm standing at the mustard coupons kennel. Over here, I'm standing at pink singularly on shore. So we're having this understanding. We thought it was essential that people should be able to use this system in their own language. So far, we've built it into 14 languages, including French, Latvian, and Arabic. And we're working on more now, like Xhosa, Zulu, and Khmer. But this idea can do a lot more than just stretch my musicians to their gigs on time. If the 75% of places that struggle with reliable addressing started using 3-word addresses, there's a stack of far more important applications. In Durban, South Africa, an NGO called Gateway Health has distributed 11,000 3-word address signs to their community, so that pregnant mothers, when they go into labour, can call the emergency services and tell them exactly where to pick them up from, because otherwise the ambulances have often taken hours to find them. In Mongolia, the National Post Service have adopted the system and are now doing deliveries to many people's houses for the first time. Because otherwise the ambulances have often taken hours to find them. To geotag photos in disaster zones so they can deliver aid to exactly the right place. And are now doing deliveries to many people's houses. Even Domino's Pizza are using it in the Caribbean. Otherwise the ambulances haven't been able to find customers' homes, but they really want to get their pizza to them so they can deliver aid to exactly the right place. Surely, even Domino's get into the car, in the Caribbean. Otherwise the ambulances haven't been able to find car will navigate to that exact place. So they can deliver aid to exactly the right place. The continent has leapfrogged phone lines to go mobile phones, bypass traditional lines to go straight to mobile phones. We're really proud that the Post Service has leapfrogged phone lines to Nigeria to beat the 20 past. It's gone straight to adopting a 3-word address, which means that people in those countries have a really simple way of explaining where they live to Nigeria. For me, poor addressing is an annoying frustration. For billions of people, it's a huge business industry now. Severely hampers their infrastructure growth. Poor addressing costs are an annoying frustration. We're on a mission to change that. According to the UN, billions of people still live without an address. The economist Fernando de Soto said, without an address, you live outside the law. You might as well not exist. I'm here to tell you, I might seem a nice kind of if you go to an online map and look at a favela in Brazil or a township in South Africa, you'll see a few streets that might seem nice. But if you click the satellite, there are thousands of people, homes and businesses in this vast, unaddressed space. In Ghana's capital, Accra, there are numbers of letters scrawled into the sides of walls that are piloted addresses are not finished. But these places, these unaddressed places, hold huge economic potential. Here's why the issue of addressing stuck with me. I work in the music business for 10 years, and what you may not know about the music world is that every day people struggle with the problem. So, from the musicians who have to find the gigs to the production companies who bring the equipment, everyone somehow always gets lost. We even had to add someone to our schedule who was the person you called when you thought you'd arrived, but then realised you hadn't. And we had some pretty bad days, like the next day where the truck driver and lady at the equipment now north of Rome, was now south of Rome, and it's like the worst day where the keyboard player called me and said, Chris, don't panic, we may have the sound check for the wrong people's way. So not long after the fated Rome event, I chatted this through with a friend of mine who's a mathematician, and we thought it was a problem we could do something about. We thought, well, we could make a new system, but it shouldn't look like the old system. We agreed that addresses were bad. We knew we wanted something very precise, but GPS coordinates latitude and longitude were too complicated. So we divided the world into 3 meters squared. The world divides into around 57 trillion 3 meters squared, and we found that there were enough combinations of 3 dictionary words so we could make every 3 meters square in the world uniquely with just 3 words. We used 40,000 words, but had 40,000 huge, 54 trillion combinations of 3 words, which is more than enough for the 57 trillion odd 3 meter squares with a few spares. But that's exactly what we were. We divided the world into 3 meter squares, so each one is a unique 3-word identifier, what we call a 3-word address. So for example, right here, I'm standing at a must-use coupon connect. But over here, I'm standing at Finch but we haven't just done this yet. We thought it was essential that people should be able to use the system in their own language. So far, we've built it into 14 languages, including French, Swahili, and Arabic, and we're working on more now like Xhosa, Zulu, and own language. But this idea can be a lot more than just get my musicians to their gigs on time. If the 75% of countries that struggle with reliable addressing started using 3-word addresses, then this stat is far more important implications. In Durban, South Africa, an NGO called Gateway Health has distributed 11,000 3-word address signs to their community, so that pregnant mothers, when they go into labour, can call the emergency services and tell them exactly where to put them out, because otherwise the ambulances have often taken hours to find them. In Mongolia, the National Post Service has adopted the system, and are now doing delivery to many people's houses for the first time. The UN are using it to geotag photos and disasters so they can deliver aid to exactly the right place. Even Domino's Pizza are using it in the Caribbean, so they haven't been able to find customers' homes, but they really want to get their pizza fillings right to the top. Surely, you'll be able to get into a car, speak for 3 words, and the car will navigate them to that address. In Africa, the continent hosts leapfrog phone lines to go to mobile phones, bypass traditional banks to go straight to mobile payments. We're really proud that the post services of 3 African countries, Nigeria, Djibouti, and Cote d'Ivoire, have gone straight to adopting 3-word addressing, which means that people in those countries have a really simple way to explain where they live today. For me, poor addressing was an annoying frustration, but for billions, we're on a mission to change that. 3-word addressing. Thank you. We're on a mission to change that. 3 words. mission to change that. Three words. We're on a mission to change that. According to the UN, billions of people still live without an address. The economist Fernando de Soto said, without an address, you live outside the UN. You might as well not exist. Still live without an address. I'm here to tell you how my team and I are trying to change that. If you go to an online website in the US, Favela in Brazil, townships in South Africa, you'll see a few streets that are a lot of empty spaces. But if you click the satellite, there are thousands of people, homes and businesses in this vast, unaddressed spaces. In Ghana's capital, Accra, there are numbers of letters scrawled into the sides of walls where they've piloted addresses to the unaddressed spaces. But these places, unaddressed places, hold huge economic potential. Here's why the issue of addressing stuck with me. I work in the music business for 10 years, and what you may not know about the music world is that every day you have to find the gigs, to the production companies to bring the equipment. Everyone somehow always gets lost. We even had to add someone to our schedules who was the person who called and thought you arrived, but then realised you hadn't. And some pretty bad days, like in Italy, where a truck driver unloaded north of Rome, south of Rome, and a slightly worse day where the keyboard player called and said, Chris, don't panic, you may have the sound check to the wrong people's So not long after the fated Rome event, I chatted this through with a friend of mine who may have the sound check, and we thought it was a problem we could do something about. We thought, well, we could make a new system, but it shouldn't look like this. We agreed that addresses were bad. We knew we wanted something very precise, but to make it useful, we had to radically change the future. So we divided the world into 3 meter squares. The world divides into around 57 trillion 3 meter squares, and we found that there were enough combinations of 3 dictionary words that we could name every 3 meter square in the world uniquely with just 3 words. We used 40,000 words, around 40,000 64 trillion combinations of 3 words, which is more than enough for the 57 trillion of 3 meter squares with a few spares. So that's exactly what we did. We divided the world into 3 meter squares, gave each one a unique 3-word identifier, what we call a 3-word address. So for example, right here, I'm standing at Mustard's Coupons Camp. But over here, I'm standing at Finch Singularly Tutorial. But we haven't just done this in Europe. We thought it was essential that people should be able to use this system in their own language. So far, we've built it into 14 languages, including French, Swahili, and Arabic, and we're working on more now like Xhosa, Zulu, and Tonga. But this idea can do a lot more than just get my musicians to their gigs on time. If the 75% of countries that struggle with reliable addressing started using 3-word addresses, there's a stack of far more important applications. In Durban, South Africa, so that pregnant mothers, when they go into labour, can call the emergency services and tell them exactly where to pick them up from. Because otherwise, the ambulances have often taken hours to find them. In Mongolia, the National Post Service have adopted this and are now doing deliveries to many people's houses for the first time. The UN are using it to geotag post services so they can deliver aid to exactly the right place. Even Domino's Pizza are using it in the Caribbean, because they haven't been able to find customers' homes, but they really want to get their pizza delivered while they're away. Surely, you'll be able to get into a car, speak the 3 words, and the car will now tell you exactly. In Africa, the continent has leapfrogged phone lines to go to mobile phones, and bypass traditional banks to go straight to mobile payments. We're really proud that the Post Service is a free African country, Nigeria, have gone straight to adopting 3-word addresses, which means that people in those countries have a really simple way to explain their language to them. For me, poor addressing was an annoying frustration, but for billions of people, it's a huge business inefficiency, severely hampers their infrastructure growth, and can cost lives. We're on a mission to change that. according to the UN, billions of people still live without an address. The economist Fernando de Soto said, without an address, you live outside the law. You might as well not exist. I'm here to tell you how my team and I are trying to change that. If you go to an online map and look at a favela in Brazil or a township in South Africa, you'll see a few streets with a lot of empty space. But if you get to satellite view, there are thousands of peaceful homes and businesses in this vast, unmapped and unaddressed spaces. In Ghana's capital, Accra, there are numbers and letters scrawled into the sides of walls, where they've piloted address systems but not finished them. But these places, these unaddressed places, hold huge economic potential. Here's why the issue of addressing stuck with me. I worked in the music business for 10 years, and what you may not know about the music world is that every day people struggle with the problems of addressing. So, from the musicians who have to find the gigs to the production companies who bring the equipment, everyone somehow always gets lost. We even had to add someone to our schedule who was the person you called when you thought you'd arrived, but then realised you hadn't. And we had some pretty bad days, like in Italy, where a truck driver unloaded the equipment on an hour north of Rome, not an hour south of Rome, and a slightly worse day where a keyboard player called me and said, Chris, don't panic, but we may have just sound-checked at the wrong people's wedding. So not long after the fated Rome event, I chatted this through with a friend of mine who's a mathematician, and we thought it was a problem we could do something about. We thought, well, we could make a new system, but it shouldn't look like the old system. We agreed that addresses were bad. We knew we wanted something very precise, but GPS coordinates, latitude, and longitude were just too complicated. So we divided the world into 3 meter squares. The world divides into around 57 trillion 3 meter squares, and we found that there are enough combinations of